Welcome back to 5 Minute Fantasy Football, presented to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Today we're going to talk about players that are being overdrafted. Of course, these players are some of the most fun and exciting players, but everyone is going after them and the price is getting too high. So before we do that, go to Underdog Fantasy, start downloading Underdog Fantasy and playing best ball today. Use promo code FFSGPN so they know we sent you. So the first player, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is a exciting player that everybody is talking about as their breakout candidate for this year. And I'm not saying he's not going to have a good season or he's not going to break out, but everyone is talking about all of the upside, how he can have 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. On top of that, being a top 5 fantasy football quarterback. Well, what about the downside? You have the injuries, you have the unknown. You look at Jalen Hurts' 2021 rookie campaign, he was QB9 on the season. This guy had 16 passing touchdowns with 9 interceptions. 16 passing touchdowns. And he had, 3,144 yards. It was a very good season for a essentially a rookie quarterback. It wasn't his first year. It was actually sophomore year. But then he had 10 touchdowns and 784 yards on the ground. This is Jalen Hurts. 15 games, had a great year, but he was QB9 on the season. And so you're banking on Jalen Hurts, a Jalen Hurts 2022 season when you could easily get a 2021 season and you're paying QB9 prices. And that's what he paid. It's, you're paying, I guess, market value for that. But he's going to have to do a lot more in the air to hit the ceiling that he's to get any return on your investment. Devon Achane. This guy's lightning in a bottle. This guy scored 100 points in 4 games. This guy was, a top 24 option last year and only played half the season. But he only played half the season. He also has Raheem Mostert there, and the team did not have a ton of draft capital, and they still used a very high draft pick, round 4, on Jalen Wright, a player that people were very excited about. HN last season, he only had double-digit touches in 5 games double-digit carries in 5 games, and he had double-digit touches in 8, and he missed some time. And so my fear is not only of him missing time, but my fear is definitely that this offense is going to, it's going to have a muddled backfield, and Raheem Mostert is still a thing. And so until Raheem Mostert's out of the way, it's really hard to take a guy as the RB6 or RB7. Currently, he is going off, as a top 10 running back in your drafts, and he's going in the 3rd round. You're going to pass up on Kelsey and Laporta and some of these top tight ends or even top receivers for HN. And so for me, it's just a little much. Deebo Samuel. People are bringing him up because Brandon Ayuk's contract situation. This guy he's not been good for fantasy football in 2 seasons. 3 years ago, he was amazing. He had an awesome season. He did a lot of great stuff in the playoffs. But Deebo Samuel has not been a consistent fantasy producer, and he does not deserve to be the wide receiver 14 with so many great options. You're taking him 27th overall, higher than Achane, higher than all those other players that I mentioned. So I'm out on Deebo Samuel. No thanks. If you got him in your dynasty leagues, try to sell him. Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has let us down 2 seasons in a row. He has beginning half of the season, he's been great. Second half of the season, he's been crap. And now you're taking him as wide receiver 20, pick 38. They have Tank Dell, they have Dalton Schultz, and they have their wide receiver 1, Nico Collins. I love CJ Stroud. I think this is a great trade for CJ Stroud. But you're not going to get Diggs that you've seen on the Bills. And even if you have, he's not been good. He's really faded as the season has gone. No thanks. I'm passing on Diggs. I'm Patrick Mahomes. He's going as the QB3. I'm a Mahomes fan, but QB3 is just too much. You're looking at a guy that, the offense has not been as good. The defense has been much better, and you're just paying too high of a price. The last one, TJ Hawkinson, he's going off his 10 and 12. He may not even start the season. He's definitely not going to start the season healthy, but he may not play for the first 6 weeks, and you're taking him at the 111. tight end 12. Dallas Goedert's behind him. Other good tight ends are behind him. No thanks. Even if he does play this season, he's going to be, this is a very late injury, a very serious multi-ligament injury. I'm not going to pay, I'm not going to pay up to get TJ Hawkinson right now. All right, this has been 5 Minute Fantasy Football. As always, good luck this season.